There's so many things that you can do with investments and money. Let's take small steps so that you don't get too overwhelmed. Hello and namaste. I'm Manish Ahuja and this is Paycheck to Profit, India's first YouTube channel dedicated to your financial freedom. All the videos in this channel are dedicated to answering your questions regarding investments, managing your money. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, or this is the first time you're coming to the channel, you're most welcome. I would request you to please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that next time when I come up with new videos, you will get a notification on your YouTube app. In today's video, I'll be talking to you about some of the most simple questions that a person could have before they start their investment journey. Because most of our audience in this channel are from India, this video could seem India-centric, but I'm sure this would be applicable for most countries of the world. If you're getting stuck at any place, please feel free to get in touch with me. I could probably do some research and give you alternatives which you could need if you want to invest in your country. If you're watching this in India, I'll help you understand what kind of procedures and documents you would need to get all your accounts in place. If somebody is telling you that they can get your accounts ready without your KYC documents or without these procedures, please beware, because they're probably trying to cheat you. You'll require your Aadhaar or passport because these act as your photo ID address proof. You'll require a recent electricity bill on which your address is the same as mentioned in your Aadhaar and or your passport. You'll require a PAN card, which is obviously in your name, which connects the earlier two documents to your identity. And you'll require your passport size photos and a few other documents which your account creator might need. But these four things are absolutely essential and important. Once you have these in place and you have created your accounts, the next obvious question which you would want to get answer to is where to start, what to do, where to begin, what is essential. I'll try to answer these as much as possible in today's video. If any of your questions have not been answered, please comment below and tell me what question do you have and how can I address it. Even before we start talking about investments, I have a very important thing to talk to you about. I'll request you to make sure that you and all of your family members are appropriately insured. India is a very badly underinsured country. We need to take insurance more seriously. Please make sure that if you are the sole earning member of the family, you have a proper life insurance in your name. If there is somebody else who is eligible for a life insurance, please get appropriate life insurance for all your family members. And after life insurance, please make sure that every family member has a appropriate medical insurance. Medical expenses today are getting very expensive. Even one unforeseen medical expense can completely derail your investment plans. And at the time of medical emergencies, I'm sure you're not going to keep looking at your financials and your balance sheets or whatever. So please make sure you and every family member has appropriate life insurance if they are applicable to get one, and appropriate medical insurance. Once you've sorted insurance for yourself and all of your family members, please note that one thing that you should take care of is get rid of all the debt in your life. Because investing while you have some other debt in your life is counterintuitive. Focus on getting rid of all the debt first, and then we'll start talking about how to grow your money through investments. Even if you have debt, make sure that all of your family members are insured, because insurance is a must. Once you have insurance, get rid of the debt. There could be a few viewers who have some sort of debt in their life. Even if you have some debt that you're supposed to repay or pay off, please make sure that all your family members and you are appropriately insured. Insurance is not too expensive, and not having insurance could add to your debt woes or debt problems in the future. Once you've got all your family members insured and you have cleared off all the debt, you need to now start investing your money so that the investment starts growing eventually and you are led to your financial freedom. The first and the most important basic step of your investments is to not invest but start creating a pool of funds. I tend to segregate these pool of funds in two categories. I'll talk to you about both of them. The first is your regular expense funds. You and your family have your regular expenses of rent or EMIs, electricity bills, school fees, etc, etc, etc. All these expenses put together are your household expenses. You need to figure out what are these average monthly household expenses for your household, and you need to create a household fund. If you try to look at other videos or research more about contingency funds, you will see various numbers floating with regards to what should the household funds be, or what should the contingency funds be. I would like to tell you, everybody has a different way of working. I would suggest that you have at least 6 months of your household expenses in your household funds or contingency funds. If you're the only sole earning member of the family and there are too many co-dependents in your family, you could eventually try to increase these funds from 6 months to 1 year, but do this in small parts. Eventually, once you have these household funds in a particular place, you would always feel secure about unforeseen circumstances in your family. Once you have your household funds in place, the next step is emergency funds, which is also called contingency funds when you read about it online. See, all these are very American concepts, but the problem is Indian households work very differently. Our household expenses are not the same as our emergency expenses. Plus, the entire situation is pretty dynamic. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help you create a decent pool of funds so that you never break your investments for any of the other unforeseen circumstances. Accordingly, I would request you, once you have your household funds in place, which are 6 months of your household expenses, start creating an emergency fund. As the name suggests, this fund should only be touched when there is an absolute emergency in your life. Your car breaking down is not an emergency, it's an expense. Your kids' school or college fees is not an emergency. You knew that it is going to happen every year, so you can plan accordingly. Emergency could be a medical emergency which cannot be covered by your insurance, or unfortunately if there is some sort of an accident for which you have to repay or you have to pay immediately. All these are emergencies. You're not supposed to touch your household funds for these emergencies. So just to give you a small recap, you insure yourself and all the members of your family, you clear all the debt, you create a household expense fund, and you start your emergency fund. Once you have all these 4 things in place, then you actually start investing your money. Once you've got used to the concept of creating a household expense fund and your emergency funds, what you will realize is the way you look at your investments and expenses has changed. You have now got used to saving a small part of your paycheck on regular basis. Once your household expenses and emergency funds are created, what you need to do is you need to start taking these savings every month and you need to start investing them. The first and the most basic investment choice that you can make is to start investing in mutual funds. How to select a mutual fund, which mutual funds should you select, what to look for when you're selecting a mutual fund, all these questions will be answered in subsequent videos, but in this video I'm just trying to help you create a hierarchy. Now that you've started investing your money in mutual funds, there's one component that enters your life every year, which is your yearly bonus. What I would like you to do is you can try to segregate your bonus in 2 or 3 parts. One part can be for your expenses, just splurge it on whatever you like that you've been wanting to buy and you want some excess funds for it. Second part can be invested in the mutual funds of your choice, and the third part is what you can consider to start investing in equities. Why to invest in equities? How to learn to invest in equities? Should you even invest in equities? All these questions again will be answered in subsequent videos. If you have any questions about the concept of equities or mutual funds, please start typing them in the comment section so that I can consider them while I'm shooting for the future videos on these topics. The simplest reason why you can't or shouldn't look at gold jewelry or any sort of jewelry as an investment is the fact that there has to be zero emotional attachment to your investments. If need be, you can and you must liquidate your investments in a second. If you can't liquidate your gold jewelry, which means if you can't sell your jewelry when the money is needed, please don't consider that as an investment. It is an expense. It is an expense which has very little depreciation value, but it is still an expense. So just to recap this video, because there are so many things that I have discussed today which can get lost in translation. First, you need to sort out insurance for yourself and all your family members. Get rid of debt as soon as you can from your life. Create a household fund and create an emergency fund for yourself. Start investing in mutual funds, then progress to equities, and do not consider your jewelry to be an investment. It is mainly an expense if you are not ready or not willing to liquidate it as and when needed. Having said that, once all these investments are put in place, or at least you have got into some discipline with all of these components, that is when you should start looking at other or bigger investment opportunities like real estate or some other opportunity like Bitcoin, and there's so many things that you can do with investments and money. Let's take small steps so that you don't get too overwhelmed. I understand all viewers may not be at the stage of starting their investments. If you're already someone who has investments in mutual funds or equities, or would want to discuss some particular investment opportunity or any detail, you can please feel free to reach out to me on Twitter. I am very easily available there. My Twitter handle is @Manish Ahuja. It is being displayed on your screen even right now. You can always send me a message there or DM or an @reply, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll try my best to answer your questions to the best of my ability. I'll look forward to your comments. If you really like this video, please give me a big fat like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Share it with other friends who you think will derive value out of videos like these. Please help me spread the word. Until next time, please keep smiling, take care of your loved ones, and stay happy. Ka-ching!